Hello everyone, welcome to the story of Wishmaster, part 3. In this part, I will return to retelling the story. Before that though, I want to talk a little bit more about the nature of the jinn. When you watch a film for the first time, you usually don't have the time to think about it too much, and you just take everything in. Indeed, films are entertainment, and sometimes the best plan is to watch them without engaging your brain. On the other hand, I think the best stories are the ones that are logically consistent and the ones that can survive some analysis. In Wishmaster, a lot of it doesn't make much sense, but it's kind of okay. Some aspects are definitely unclear though. And since I'm retelling the story, I think it's better to explain some of that in advance. Now, if you remember, the jinn is woken up by Alex. She's the appraiser at the auctioneers. And it doesn't really make sense that the jinn could be woken up but not escape from his prison. But that's okay. In this chapter, the jinn is going to escape. It's just the way that this happens does feel very contrived. But we can just about let that go too. The jinn then starts his new life as a monstrous child-sized baby. And initially, he needs to grant wishes to people in order to grow. And at the same time as growing, he will regain his supernatural powers. That happens very fast though. It only takes a few wishes for him to suddenly become all-powerful again. After that, he continues to grant people their wishes, but it often seems he's just doing it for fun. And then at other times, the wishes are used to advance the plot, and that actually works really well. It is all a bit bizarre though if you actually sit down and think about it, but it does get the story going properly. Ultimately, it's all in aid of getting Alex to make the 3 wishes. If you remember, she has to make 3 wishes, and if she does that, the jinn can free the rest of the jinn from the void. And if that happens, they come to the earth and, well, we've lost. All right, let's get started with chapter 2. Alex leaves the auctioneers and she walks to the physics department of the university. She goes in and she makes her way to the lab where Josh works as a lab assistant. Once inside, she tells Josh that she thinks there's something inside the gemstone. So Josh has a look at the gemstone through a handheld lens. He's unsure of what he sees though, and he tells her that he's not a gemologist, but that he could run some spectral analysis tests. Alex likes this idea very much, and she wants to know if he can do it right now. Josh reacts negatively. He's at work after all, and he has work that he must do for the professor first. He tells her that this work will take a couple of hours, and he'll get to the gemstone as soon as he can. He then asks her if she wants to stay, but she can't. In her spare time, Alex coaches a girls' basketball team, and right now she has to go and do that. So she thanks him, she tells him that it's really important, and she asks him to call her later. Josh nods in acknowledgement. She then tells him that he's the best and that she owes him. Josh replies by saying, "Well, how about that dinner then?" Once again, Alex ignores the question and she leaves him feeling rejected one more time. Over at the basketball court, Alex's girls are practicing. One of the girls misses a shot at the basket, so Alex calls the timeout, and the girls gather around her. Alex then compliments the girl on how well she played, and she asks her if she knows why she missed. The girl shrugs her shoulders, and Alex tells her it was because she didn't have stillness. Alex then explains to the team that they can all put the ball through the hoop if they take their time, take a breath, and get their aim. They can all do that. But of course, during a game, you don't have that time. You only have a split second to shoot. That's when you need stillness. It's not stillness in your body, but stillness in your mind. So when you get the chance, you have to forget about everything else. Time doesn't exist. The other players do not exist. It's you and the basket. Back at the lab, Josh is about to start running tests on the gemstone. He sits at his computer and he types the commands to start the program. A conveyor belt carries the gemstone into a laser scanning device. Once inside the machine, the computer fires the lasers at the gemstone in order to map its geometry and produce a 3D image on the screen. As soon as Josh starts looking at the image, the infrared sensors begin to pick up heat coming from the center of the gem. The source of the heat appears to be growing too. Surely the lasers could not be the cause, but perhaps they've triggered something? In any case, Josh does not have time to ponder the matter, because the gemstone soon generates more heat than the machine can handle. Warning messages appear on the computer screen, and Josh tries to shut down the experiment. He's unable to do so though, and the gemstone now splits into 4 pieces, and there's a massive explosion. The equipment in the laboratory is either destroyed or is now burning. Josh is badly injured. The explosion has knocked him out of his chair, and he is now lying on the floor. There's blood on his face and on his lab coat. He's still conscious, but he's in a great deal of pain. Just a few meters away, something has emerged from the explosion. It's a monstrous, child-sized but baby-like creature with a huge head and red eyes. The creature's skin appears to be wet, like the skin of a newborn baby, but it's nothing like human skin. It's dark grey in colour, and it forms a hideous patchwork of connected flesh. Immediately after the explosion, the phone rings. But Josh is not able to move. Never mind answer it. It's Alex calling. She has heard the djinn say, "You woke me," and she's now sure that it's all connected to the gemstone. After a few rings, the answering machine picks up the call. Meanwhile, the baby djinn is beginning to stir. Josh hears something and he says, "Is somebody there?" A sinister voice replies, "Yes." Looking over in that direction, Josh sees that the monster is now crawling towards him and he exclaims, "Oh my God, oh God." It doesn't take long for the monstrous baby to crawl over to Josh. The djinn then says to him, "Is the pain terrible?" Josh, clearly in a lot of pain, merely says, "Oh God" again. So the djinn tells him that he can help with that, and he asks Josh if he wants the pain to cease. Josh replies yes, and the djinn replies, "As you wish." And he takes away Josh's pain by taking away his life. Over at the basketball court, Alex is on the phone to the lab. and she's in the process of leaving a message on the answering machine. Suddenly, she has a terrible vision of Josh losing his life. He's been murdered by the jinn. In panic, she quickly leaves and she begins to make her way back to the university. Back at the lab, the jinn has somehow gained a great deal of energy, and he starts growing and transforming. It's now also apparent that in his baby-like form, he had no hands, and fingers begin to grow, and his arms, legs and spine grow much bigger too. In less than a minute, the jinn becomes adult-sized and he's able to stand upright. His head has also taken a more human form, but his ears are pointy, and he has two tentacle-like appendages that come out from the back of his head. These features give him a very evil and demonic appearance. His skin is unchanged, however. It remains a hideous patchwork of wet and dark grey flesh. Before leaving, the jinn collects the 4 pieces of the gemstone. It's not clear what he needs them for, but perhaps he still has some use for his former prison. We see 2 important things in the second chapter. Josh dies, and we see that the jinn not only looks like a monster, he is a monster. He's powerful and he's able to kill someone with his mind, but only if they wish it. In fact, it doesn't actually matter if a wish results in the person dying. Regardless of the outcome, the price of a wish from the jinn is always your soul. The story later gives us the idea that the jinn stores the souls in the gemstone, which is why he didn't leave it behind. I hate this idea. I think the only purpose for the gemstone should be to capture and hold the jinn. Nothing more, nothing less. That makes much more sense to me, but I wasn't involved in writing this film. In the next chapter, we'll see that the jinn managed to find a dark hooded cloak to hide his appearance. But eventually, he's going to be able to complete the transformation into a normal human form. Let me know what you think.